Hi everyone, Lewis here. Today I went to see the movie Pathaan, which is a Bollywood movie, which has been out for about a week now, I think, and it's got a pretty decent number of showings over here in the UK. And I started watching Indian films last year, and I've watched a few now, sort of mixture of Bollywood and Tollywood films. And I always keep an eye out for any new ones and that because I'm always interested to just kind of see a bit more and that kind of thing, especially when I get a chance to see them at the cinema as well. It's always cool. Um, I I think I saw this one mentioned on Twitter a couple of times by a few people, and they were quite positive about it. So I thought, yeah, do you know what? I'll keep an eye out for that. And there was a good screening time for me today, so I went to go see it. And I didn't really know what to expect. I thought I won't watch a trailer or anything. I thought I'll just go check it out. And I read the little thing that said it's a, action film and a spy thriller and that kind of thing. And I thought, yeah, I'll just go check it out and see what it's like. The only thing I knew about the film was that Shah Rukh Khan was in it, who I only really know because I saw his spoilers, I guess, for Brahmastra, but I saw his cameo in that last year, and I didn't know who he was at the time because I say I'm quite new to it, but I could tell by how he was presented in that film that he was a big deal, and I thought he was really good in that film, even though I say it was quite a long cameo, but still. So I thought, yeah, do you know what? I like him. I'll go see this film, and I think, yeah, I think some of the biggest strength of the film, from what I've read, this is kind of his comeback film, and I really like him and the two other sort of main leads as well. Um, I think they're the best thing about it. I think all of them they just look great, and they all have kind of real charisma to them, and like that was what I like best about it. And I'll say now, I say no spoilers, and also I really enjoyed the film. It was, I says literally what it says it was. It's part of the like I can't remember what it's called exactly, but it's a spy movie sort of universe kind of thing. I've not seen any of the previous ones, so I just thought I'll go check this out. And I think they're all pretty much standalone, but they gradually kind of build together. And so I thought I'll go check this one out. And like I said, I did really enjoy it. So it's one of those things where it's a bit of a heightened reality kind of thing, as I think is quite common in sort of Bollywood action movies and that sort of thing, where it's kind of like it's a little bit kind of far fetched in the action scenes and places, and it's a lot of CGI used and that kind of thing. But I don't mind stuff like that. I find if you just kind of go with it and you enjoy it, then that's cool. But I really enjoyed sort of how spectacular the action scenes were, particularly early on. I think after a while I did kind of get used to it a bit, and it kind of lost a little bit of impact. But I was with it pretty much all the way through, definitely. One thing for me as well, being the second Indian movie and second Bollywood movie I've seen at the cinema, I was anticipating the interval this time. The first time I didn't know that was a thing. I knew that he had intervals in the movies, but I've only ever watched them streaming at home, so I didn't know that was. I didn't think about it, to be honest. But the second time I was anticipating it, and I think when I saw Brahmastra, I think I struggled to kind of get back into the film after the interval, and probably less so when I saw this one. I think I was more into it anyway, so I think I kind of got back into it pretty quickly. But like I said just now, I think the all the main actors in it are just really likable, and I just thought they were all really good. And like I think one of the things I've noticed about Indian films is that one of the things they do really well, from what I've seen, is the way they introduce characters in action movies. And like anytime you first see one of like these main characters, they're always introduced like the coolest possible way. And like I say, you kind of look at some of them and you go, man, that person is just a movie star. Like they just look great, and they're just introduced in a cool way, in like a slow motion kind of way. And I was like, anytime they appear, I was like, yeah, this is cool. I like this. One thing I found interesting though is that it's not a criticism; it's more an observation that in all the Indian films I've seen, and I've only seen sort of about 7 or 8 now, I think. I noticed that I don't think there's ever been one that's had like a linear story. They've always used kind of flashbacks and that kind of thing, and like a large portion of the film takes place kind of in the past and that sort of thing, and then it kind of ties together. And I just thought that was interesting. I don't know if that's just a common sort of storytelling device used in like Indian cinema in general, or if it's just happens to be the ones that I've watched seem to have a lot of like flashbacks and that kind of thing, which is fine. Like probably the good first half of this film is told in flashback. After it's kind of sets up the present day, and then sometimes there's a flashback within the flashback, but it's all pretty easy to follow. From what I've seen, I think the reception of this film has been quite positive. I know it's made quite a lot of money, it's done quite well, and I can imagine there probably would be some people that wouldn't like it. I think if you're someone who is a fan of Indian cinema and takes it really seriously, I can imagine this might be seen as being kind of the way like some like in sort of America and this part of the world that like people see like superhero movies and stuff like that, or maybe even like just some of the bigger like action blockbuster movies. Like people kind of look down on them a little bit, and I can kind of see that if you're into like more serious stuff. But me personally, I like a lot of different kinds of films. Like I like really serious drama films and arty stuff, and then sometimes I like just a really well done like action movie that I can just kind of go, I can just kind of watch and go, yeah, that looks really cool. Like I think there's nothing wrong with making a movie with just a solid story and just stuff that just looks cool. Like what's wrong with that? It's but yeah, I can see why people probably wouldn't like this in some respects. But and I can imagine if like for someone, like I said, I'm still fairly new to Indian cinema, but I kind of understand certain aspects of it and I kind of know what to expect in some regards. But I can imagine if someone went into this, I can imagine some of the stuff, like say, like CGI and things like that, might look a bit, I don't know, a bit too much, a bit too much over the top kind of thing. But like I say, I like that. I don't mind that. I just kind of embrace that and just kind of go with it. So yeah, I had a really good time with it. I'm really glad I went to see it. Say it was one that I could have waited till it came to streaming, but I just thought, yeah, do you know what? I'll go check it out at the cinema. Yeah, and I had a really good time with it. It'd been cool if I'd been able to see it in IMAX, but that's rare over here. Kind of think it's only I think the main cities that kind of show IMAX screenings of these films. But yeah, I think it was pretty cool. I think I'll keep an eye on the movies that came before this and the movies that develop afterwards, and it'll be a fun thing to just kind of follow along with, I think. But yeah, that's my review. I had a good time. But yeah, thanks for watching. Leave a comment if you have any thoughts, as long as they're positive. Don't be mean. And yeah, thanks very much.